Wait, this is only your second anniversary? You guys have been married longer than 2 years.
Well, you see, dear, we celebrate 2 anniversaries each year because we were married twice.
It's a time-honored Coeur d'Alene tradition.
Yes, Edward and Lila started it. Alan and I continued it, followed by Ned and Lois.
So each of you got married twice?
Mm-hmm.
Never let it be said that this clan won't commit.
There were good reasons in each case.
Oh, I want to hear all the stories.
Oh, that would take hours.
Well, I'll tell you our story, Edward's and mine. But weren't we expecting Ned and Lois?
Oh, they're late. I better send Reginald down to round them up.
Oh, my God. Okay. Reginald, do you think you can get him up to his room without running in anybody? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You need some help? No, not necessary. Okay, listen. AJ, listen to me. No more about the accident. Not to anyone. Leave home, go unconscious, whatever. Just keep your damn mouth shut. All right? Out of here. Thanks, Reginald.
What have you done to AJ?
I haven't done anything to AJ except protect him. And I might not be able to do that much longer.
Maybe you're what he needs protection from. I kept asking you this whole time why you were being so hard on him.
Well, I told you the reasons. Because he's selfish.
You told me a lot
self-indulgent.
of reasons, but you never told me the truth.
Okay, then let me explain right now.
No, you already did explain. Right? You weren't driving the car the night that Jason was hurt. AJ was. And you took the rap. You forced AJ to cover up the real story.
Mm-hmm. I saved his miserable hide.
You pushed him to where he is tonight, which is damn near suicidal.
No such luck. No, he wouldn't kill himself. Maybe a few innocent bystanders.
You know what? That's a horrible thing to say about anyone, much less your own cousin.
Lois, sweetheart, I am trying to stop him from destroying my family.
And it obviously means nothing to you if he becomes a casualty in the process.
You're right. AJ's well-being is not at the top of my list. He created a disaster, and I did what I thought was best to come up with a solution to contain the damage. And so far, it's worked.
My God. That's your solution?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not all that powerful. You see, the whole shaky structure depended on that self-pitying drunkard to keep his mouth shut. Shall we talk irony?
No, you want to know what's ironic? You don't even realize what you've done. If I hadn't overheard you and AJ, would you have ever told me?
Well, I hope I wouldn't have to.
You hope that for the rest of my life, I believe that my husband crashed a car and irreparably damaged his own cousin?
Wouldn't that be so terrible? You said you didn't blame me for the accident.
That's not the point. I kept telling you that I could feel this undercurrent between you and AJ every time that you were around it, and that it made me uncomfortable. It didn't bother you?
Of course it bothered me. Lois, what do you want me to say? I did the best I could.
The best you could. Does that include keeping a whopper of a secret from your wife forever, or until you got caught, whichever one came first?
I thought that you'd be better off not knowing.
Maybe you didn't trust me to keep the secret.
Maybe a little of that, too.
Unbelievable. If I woke up to the news that AJ was found floating in the Port Charles River, would you have hoped that I never found out the reason why?
He's not...
Would you just answer the question?
Would I want to spare you worse pain? Yes, of course. Lois, I know you're very mad at me right now, but I need you to try and understand where I'm coming from. I need to know that you're with me.
What if I don't believe in what you're doing?
Disagree, fine. But stay with me. Let me do what I have to do.
What if I can't fall in line?
That's not a threat, is it?
I don't know what it is. I just know that I don't want to hear what you're saying to me right now.
What's my crime here? What, you think it's immoral of me to protect my family?
Oh, God. You're mixing apples with oranges. Bad things happen in families and they deal. One person doesn't get to decide what's true and what's right and ram it down everybody else's throats. Don't you see that?
Don't you see the choices I had? Can't you understand the consequences?
AJ is your family. If you really wanted to protect him, you would have come clean to everybody else the night of the accident. They would have adjusted by now, and they would be supporting him and getting help. He would be in recovery, telling his story at AA meetings.
That's a fairy tale if I've ever heard one.
How do you even expect him to tell these stories with this secret he's holding inside? He's got nowhere to hide, nowhere to turn.
Still beats the hell out of prison.
It is prison to him, only worse, because he's got no way of redeeming himself. There's just this mountain of lies here.
There's one lousy secret.
Keeping secrets is what's ruining this family. Nobody knows what anyone needs because nobody knows the truth. You've been spending all this time jumping through these hoops of fire to just keep this farce going, and what for? It's not helping them. It's hurting them. It's hurting us.
Listen, we can't do this now. So I'm gonna go upstairs, finish getting dressed, and then we'll go to the main house, put in an appearance for my grandparents' sake, and then we'll come back here and resolve it. Okay? Be right back.
Of course, our first wedding was a big society affair. But the second one was a more intimate one.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes. I can see it as though it were yesterday. He looked quite dashing, and when he turned and smiled at me, I heard a small, silent voice inside me saying, "This is your life, partner. Be happy."
Did you hear a little voice like that when you got married?
No, 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 no. The one that she heard said, danger. Take cover. Tornado warning. Earthquake zone.
No, it didn't.
You tell her.
Well, aside from all of the above, yes, I did hear a little voice that said, "This is your life partner. Be happy."
But we must ask Lois what her voice said.
It was probably last exit to Brooklyn.
Oh, Lois, we were just, what's the matter, dear?
It's got to stop. Right here, right now.
What does?
The lies, the secrets, the cover-ups, they're ruining this family.
My dear, just sit down and take a deep breath, and we'll get you some champagne.
I don't want any champagne.
Well, just tell us what's wrong.
You're what's wrong. All of you. This family does terrible things to each other. And Ned's the worst of all. There's no other way to do this than to just come right out and say it. Ned wasn't driving the night that Jason got hurt. It was AJ. Ned swore AJ to secrecy, and he's been beating him up with guilt ever since. And AJ, in response, has been punishing himself with alcohol. I don't mean to hurt you, but I'm really worried about AJ.
Where is he?
He's probably passed out up in his room.
AJ was driving?
Do you remember how drunk he was that night?
Please don't hate him. He's suffering.
He destroyed Jason. He deserves whatever happens to him.
Don't say that.
Don't you tell me what to say. She wants the truth. I'm giving it to her.
Well, it isn't my truth.
Now, quiet! Why are you undermining your husband?
Excuse me? My husband has been lying to me. He's been lying to all of us.
He did exactly what I taught him to do. He shielded this family from scandal and disgrace, even though it meant sacrifice on his part.
Don't you understand what Lois is saying? AJ has needed help all this time.
Let him help himself. I can't believe you. You're turning this worthless bum into an object of pity. It's Jason who was hurt. It's Jason who was taken from
And you have 2 sons, and they've both been hurt. You cannot turn your back on AJ.
Can't I? You watch me.
Alan, when you calm down, you'll see things differently.
Now, hold on just a minute. Does anyone here realize what Ned must have been going through? What kind of courage it took for him to do that?
Stop it! I didn't mean for this to turn into another hideous, awful scene.
What have you done?
But I had to.
Is it true, Ned? Was AJ driving that night?
Are you happy now?
No. But if I'm never happy again, I still believe it had to come out.
Why? So you can feel better? Never mind what it does to Monica, or Emily, or grandmother, for God's sake. Look at them. Look at them. Look at what you've accomplished.
I was trying to make things right.
What makes you think you know what's right for my family?
Your family?
Do you suppose you really had the right to manage my sons? To manipulate us? Who in the hell do you think you are?
He thinks he's the coolest head around here. And in this particular case, he probably is. Who else knows?
Jason. AJ told him tonight. Grandmother, I'm truly sorry. I did what I thought was right.
I know. But...
I've spoken to Jason. He's very angry right now at what he perceives as my betrayal. But I don't think he cares enough to say anything. Please, don't be upset. Everything's gonna be all right.
Not for Jason. And certainly not for AJ.
And I wouldn't bet the farm on Lois either.
The poor dear. Lois, darling.
She left.
You always have to be right, don't you? Somewhere along the line, you decided that Lois Cirillo is never wrong. She can never say, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, I was wrong.
That's not true.
Then let me hear you say it right now, because there has never been a better time to admit it.
I do. That would be a lie. Is that what you want me to do? You always said one of the things you loved about me the most is that I tell it like it is. I guess that's just when it doesn't conflict with whatever the hell you've decided to do.
I don't get it. The Cirillo rules don't play in the Quartermain house.
When we got married, I took on your name, and I joined it with mine. I thought that meant 2 families. 1 extra for both of us.
That doesn't happen overnight, or even in a few years. Yes, you are my wife. You are a part of my family, but you don't really know us. You don't understand the Quartermains yet, and that will take time.
So what you're saying is I'm a conditional member of this family on probation, and I don't get a vote?
If you choose to interpret it that way, fine. But in this house, in our house, we don't spill our guts as a matter of course. Honesty is not always the best policy. Our priority is to keep this family intact. It's always family first, and that's the way it is.
You are so mad at me. No, see, that's so funny to me. Because I always thought that I was the wronged party here, since I'm the one who's been kept in the dark. But you know what? You have turned this all around and made me into the culprit.
I'll say it one more time. You don't know who we are. So at least have the decency to stay out of our business and stop interfering.
Don't worry. I'm out of it. I'm out of here.